Welcome to the Illuminated Path, where I give you a Thursday to Thursday reading. And since we missed last Thursday because I was having upgrades done to my body, I have a lot to talk about today. And in case you're wondering, what is this? What has happened, Mary? What's going on? I'll tell you. There's so much happening that I went in and I found a very special doctor. And this doctor has given me upgrades, like Tony Stark upgrades. So I can actually shoot light lasers from this. And then it also acts as like a bulletproof shield. So that when people send their evil eyes and their negativity, it doesn't hit me in the heart. It just goes and ricochets off. So it's like, it's still in the healing process right now. But by the time it's completely healed, I'll have Marvel level superhero gifts, right? DC level gifts I really like. I've always been a Batman girl. I always really liked Batman because imagine doing all of those amazing things that superheroes do without superhero gifts. Like Batman literally didn't have any gifts. He was just like a badass. He was really brave. So Batman's the bravest. You can debate me on that if you really want to, but I would not suggest it. But if we are going Marvel, Doctor Strange, I digress. Or do I? Do I digress in this? Because we need to come together. All of these superheroes and vigilantes need to come together into one thing. We don't need to be so polarized that we are Marvel versus DC when we're all fighting the same crime. Right? You're picking up what I'm putting down here? We're all fighting the same crime. And today for your reading, I got the beech tree. The trees are talking, okay? So we used to think a long time ago that each plant living was in a fight for survival, which is why everything looks so tangled and gnarled and everything's just fighting for survival. Everything's just for itself. And then we realized that all of plant life is actually interconnected beneath the surface. It all communicates. It grows in ways where it's actually growing around other life, moving towards the sun, or needing to be in the shade of other trees in order to live appropriately, such as the cacao tree. Cacao actually lives under the canopy of taller trees because it's a fairly short tree, and that's how it thrives. So all of life is interconnected. That's the main core, is life. And when we're so polarized like this, we need different points of view. We need people with different gifts. We need different things. We need diversity. That's the beauty of life. But when that diversity turns on each other and thinks that they're not connected in any way, we get big problems. So that's why the trees are talking. And the trees are like, hey guys, pay attention. And so this tree, the beech tree specifically, is talking about new beginnings and overcoming. And I've pulled this card a lot in personal readings over the last 2 weeks, but it's really about shedding the past, letting go of every single thing that no longer serves you, tying up loose ends. Because once we've tied up our loose ends and we are really letting go of the things that don't matter, then we can come to what does matter, the core of these issues, where we can all come together in all of this. Because I heard somebody say, maybe it was last week, I heard somewhere somebody said that they were talking about love thy neighbor. And even if your neighbor has completely different points of view, even if your neighbor believes in things that you find vile, when it comes down to the beliefs, to the opinions, to the judgments, or the person, choose the person every time. Always choose the neighbor. And if we all did this, regardless of the opinions, regardless of the judgments, regardless of the beliefs, if we all just chose our neighbor, life could be quite peaceful. We could find ways to come together. So shedding the old, endings and new beginnings, releasing old patterns, growth and renewal, In order to move ahead, we have to tie up loose ends, let go of what's no longer needed. Forgiveness. This is a time of forgiveness for yourself and for others. This tree is about healing, peace, and resolution in times of conflict. So in times of conflict, this is where you allow your higher self to inform you. You allow yourself to look at your life and the world around you with new eyes and lay aside your judgments. And if that wasn't a reading enough, I was guided to a completely different deck. So we're reading the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed, and I can't shuffle cards with one hand, so we're going to see what happens. You know, watch the most awkward thing you've ever seen in your life. Ah! Let's see, what do the people need for this Thursday? Ooh. Okay, we had 2 come out. Okay, let me sit with this for 1 second and start to listen. I want to pull this one actually because this is a beautiful one and I know you're going to love the affirmation that comes with it. So here I'm finding that I have 2 completely different cards. The 2 that came out are the Hermit and then the Page of Fire. Now the Page, if you don't know that much about tarot, this is like the youngest of the group. You know, you have the Page, and then as it matures and moves up the deck, you have the Page, the Messenger, the Queen, the King, the Ace. It kind of moves up. The Page is the youngest, which means it's the most curious, the most innocent, the most enthusiastic, the less mature of the group, but the one that moves forward with the most caution thrown to the wind because it's just ready to set out on an adventure. So I believe the Hermit coming out first is that space where we're coming back to ourselves in this, okay, we're tying up loose ends, we're going to sit without judgment, we are going to come to a higher perspective, we're going to check ourselves at the door, make sure we're not the ones being judgmental, we're not the ones who are spewing hatred, even towards people who are spewing hatred, that we are sitting in a space of love and openness and non-judgment and unity, oneness, because that's what really brings the change. And when we're sitting in that space, then we can move forward with the Page of Fire. And look how beautiful that little girl is, with the moon and all the colored fire. And she has a tiger at her feet. There is a tiger at her feet, a white tiger at that. So we're looking at innocence, purity, fierceness though. There's a fierceness with her, and this is her affirmation. Enthusiastic action, adventurousness, venturing forth, beginning a project, acting on a new idea. I am free to venture forth, for co-creating a life true to my desire is my right. I am finding my purpose as I take the first step into something new. My ideas have value. I dream boldly. Once we come out of this space of, okay, I've checked myself, I'm clear, I understand I'm choosing love, I'm choosing my neighbor, I'm choosing the world, I'm choosing the planet, I know what I want to create. Now I get to create that boldly and fearlessly and fiercely because that's my right to do so. And I'm doing it as a child on a new adventure. Everything in life can be recreated. Everything in life flows and moves. And I want you to remember that half of what you see is an illusion and a distraction. So are we going to fall for it, or are we going to rise above it and see from a different perspective? That's up to you.